It's a pretty good time to be an MCU fan, am I right? I mean, Moon Knight is giving us something completely different, Doctor Strange is about to open up the multiverse big time, and Spider-Man No Way Home just gave us a complete ton of fan service. Obviously, everyone was pretty stoked about 2 cameos that appeared sort of near the end of the film, but personally, I was way more excited about someone who appeared in the first 10 minutes. That's right, it's this guy. Daredevil is back and officially part of the MCU canon once more, but what does that mean exactly? Since Daredevil's appearance in No Way Home, the rumour mill has just been churning over what this could mean, potentially leading to a 4th season of the hit show, or maybe a complete reboot for Disney+. Either way, and I hate that I have to say this, but I don't think that either is a good thing. And don't worry, look, I'm gonna state my case as to why I feel this way, I'm not just gonna throw that out there. But before I do, just want to say thanks for swinging by my channel. If you're new here, then hi, why not hit that subscribe button? It would absolutely make my day. And if you are a returning subscriber, then thanks for coming back. So hopefully you don't get the pitchforks out at the end of this video, but yeah, let's just dive right in. So what is it about a 4th season of Daredevil that I'm so apprehensive about? Well, in order to answer that properly, we have to go back and talk about what Daredevil is as a show. When Netflix established its own collection of shows loosely set within the MCU, it became clear quite quickly that these shows were going to have a much darker tone to anything we'd seen before. Daredevil was raw and brutal, its fight scenes were bloody, and it really didn't shy away from moments of depravity. Particularly in fleshing out the backstory of the Kingpin, with one episode ending with a really grisly murder that's quite hard to get out of your mind. In Jessica Jones, that show didn't hide away from the perspective of characters who had survived sexual assault. And Luke Cage paved the way with themes of representation and the African American experience that would later resurface in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. These shows felt like an adult's perspective on Marvel's iconic properties. While the MCU films were lighthearted in tone, these shows could really let loose. Partially because of the fact of them being on Netflix and neglecting to engage with the wider stories of the MCU, these shows felt distanced enough that they could get away with it. To prove this point, just take a look at some of the MCU shows that have come out on Disney+. These shows are greatly tied to previous MCU storylines, and so they carry over the same family-friendly tone from the films. And to their credit, these shows have pushed the boat out a bit further than usual, but none of them have gone as far as the Netflix shows. And in no show is this more evident than Hawkeye. Now, a quick spoiler warning for Hawkeye, so if you haven't seen the full series, then now's your chance to jump out. But if you have seen it, then you know that near the end, we finally get a reveal of Wilson Fisk. That's right, the same Wilson Fisk from Daredevil was brought back for Hawkeye. And of course, because it's Vincent D'Onofrio reprising the role, it's super cool to see him back. But it's clear that he's just not operating with the same toolset that the Netflix show allowed him to have. Consider that in Daredevil, if people didn't do what Wilson Fisk asked of them, he would more often than not execute them on the spot. By comparison, the Wilson Fisk of Hawkeye is a little bit more reserved, and he even gives Eleanor Bishop a second chance in her decision to go against him, and even after that, he just lets her go. All of this just has me worried that if Daredevil does get another season, it won't be the show that we remember. And all of those hard-hitting storylines, not to mention those brutal fight scenes, will just be a thing of the past in order to make Daredevil feel more like it's part of the MCU. Of course, I'm saying this as someone who, under previous circumstances, would have loved to see another season of Daredevil. Charlie Cox was so well cast, and honestly, the series still feels like the MCU at its absolute peak. I'm just worried that if the show changes to be brought more in line with the core MCU style, will Daredevil still be the same show as we know it to be? If you feel the same way, then let me know in the comments below. I'd like to know if anyone agrees with this perspective, and heck, if you disagree, also let me know in the comments below. However you feel, thanks for watching, and if you did enjoy it, why not hit that like button on the way out? Cheers.